She sat alone in a wheelchair, wrapped in a worn wool blanket, while others were greeted, saluted, and celebrated. Some laughed nearby. Others asked her to move. No one knew who she really was. Not yet. The sun was still low, casting long shadows across the memorial lawn. Flags waved gently beside the stage, and rows of white chairs slowly filled with dignitaries, officers, and families. Polished shoes echoed against the pavement. She arrived quietly. No escort, no fanfare. Just a woman in her 70s, shoulders slightly hunched, hair silver like the stone around her. She positioned herself beyond the last row of chairs, present, but unnoticed. A photographer asked her to move. Recruits whispered jokes under their breath. A kind volunteer offered her a seat closer, but she declined. She just watched, hands still, eyes forward. Then came the speeches. Names called. Missions remembered. Honors bestowed. But her name wasn't among them. Not yet. Midway through the ceremony, the commander stepped to the podium. "There are missions," he said, "so secret, they stayed buried for decades. Today, we honor one such mission and the hero behind it." People sat up straighter. Curiosity spread. She infiltrated enemy territory alone, rescued 6 soldiers under fire, refused evacuation despite injury. Her identity was classified for over 40 years. Until now. Silence swept the lawn. "We are honored to have her with us." Eyes turned. The woman in the wheelchair placed both hands on her wheels and began to move. Slowly, calmly, with quiet dignity. The crowd parted. She reached the stage, met the commander's gaze, and drew back the blanket. Beneath it, a modest, neatly pressed uniform. And silence gave way to reverence. A unit patch, worn but clear, sat on her shoulder. Over her heart, the Medal of Honor glinted, pinned in humble honor. A hush fell. Those who mocked her now stood in suspended awe. The cadet's hand went to his heart. An officer snapped a salute. Even the general mirrored it. The commander offered the microphone. She declined. She didn't come to speak. Instead, she surveyed the crowd, the flag, the memorial wall. A second voice took the mic. She never sought recognition. But today, we honor her, Captain Evelyn Shaw. Murmurs rose. Spotlight shifted. She moved closer, steady and dignified, and revealed the metal pin to her chest. The photographer snapped one final photo and lowered his camera. First a single clap, then another, until it swelled into a respectful, standing ovation. The cadet beside his officer whispered, "She's the one." The officer nodded. The once mocking recruits now bowed their heads in remorse. The general stepped forward, holding the display case, and placed it in her lap. She offered no wave, no flourish, just a quiet nod of gratitude. As the ceremony resumed, nothing remained the same. Faces were changed. The energy had shifted from formal ritual to genuine reverence. Later, a young girl, eyes bright, brought her thanks. A soft, "You're welcome," sufficed. The ceremony ended with a reminder. Some heroes stand up front. Others sit quietly until seen. Today we saw Major Shaw. Outside, in the calm aftermath, people lingered to pay respects. Even volunteers offered flowers. Recruits saluted her as she passed. The cadet who'd returned her dropped document stood, hands clasped, memory made real. In her car's rear-view mirror, she saw the monument fade, but something inside her ripple outward. The world hadn't changed, but perspectives had. She returned home, finding a bouquet and a card from a child. "Thank you for being brave. I want to be like you." A small smile. Back inside, she placed the medal in its box, not for show, but because it belonged to a story larger than herself. That evening, Cadet Lauren appeared at her door. "I saw what you did today. We're starting to collect stories of overlooked heroes. Will you let us include yours?" She considered it. "Not mine, not yet. Start with those who never heard a thank you, then come back." Lauren nodded. She added, "We will." In the quiet that followed, she listened. The world outside stayed the same, but something inside had shifted. A letter came from a young woman. She had seen a photo online and cried reading the caption. Evelyn answered every note, slowly, without urgency. After years in silence, she had no need to rush. She hadn't lived for recognition, but these gestures, quiet and sincere, meant something different. They felt human. They felt real. One afternoon, a local reporter knocked on her door.
Young.
Nervous. Holding a notebook and a recorder he never turned on. "I'm not here to interview you," he said quickly. "I was at the ceremony. I photographed everyone, except you. I didn't see you until it was too late." He hesitated. "I've been thinking about that ever since. What else have I missed?" Evelyn looked at him quietly, then said, "Most people aren't invisible. You just need to slow down enough to see them." He nodded, thanked her, and left, still without taking a picture. The story spread, not through headlines but through people, shared in passing, repeated at family tables, remembered. That was enough. A month later, the cadets returned. This time, not with questions, but stories, collected from veterans they'd overlooked before. A cook who served through 2 wars. A medic who never saw combat but saved countless lives. A mechanic who kept the convoys running. Each story was brief, honest, powerful. Evelyn read them all. On the back of each page, she left a note. Keep going. Ask deeper questions. Find the ones no one else sees. One evening, a schoolteacher from down the street came by, a newspaper folded under her arm. She was shy, soft-spoken. "My students are learning about service, not just military but service to others," she said. "Would you talk to them? Not about battles, about leadership, about quiet bravery." Evelyn paused. "Will they listen?" The teacher smiled. "If it's you, I think they will." So, the next week, Evelyn visited the class, no uniform, no medal. Just presence. She spoke of fear, and of choosing to go forward anyway. Of how real courage isn't loud. It's showing up when it's hardest. The students asked questions. Some funny, some thoughtful. One girl asked, "Were you scared to go into danger alone?" Evelyn nodded.
Yes.
"But I wasn't alone for long. I knew what I had to do." And others followed. That answer lingered. Over time, the community grew to know her, not with fanfare, but with quiet recognition.
People waved. Some stopped to talk.
Others simply nodded. Evelyn valued them all. One day at the grocery store, a young man at the register paused. "You're the lady from the ceremony," he said. "My grandfather said you saved his best friend." Evelyn took a beat, then replied, "He saved me too. We saved each other." That seemed to satisfy him. He helped her with her bags. At night, she sat on her porch, watching the sun lower over the rooftops. Sometimes people stopped by just to say thank you. She'd nod and let silence do the rest. She had carried her story in silence, not from shame, but because it wasn't needed until now. And even now, she didn't feel changed. She felt seen. And that was enough. On one clear evening, as twilight turned the sky indigo, she looked to the horizon. She whispered 6 names into the dusk, the 6 she had brought home. Their faces, their voices, their laughter. Then she leaned back, closed her eyes, and let the quiet settle around her.